Okay, so you want to own an escape room. You experience one as a customer. A group of friends enters a themed room. You have 60 minutes to solve puzzles, find clues, and escape. It's entertaining. It's social. It's fun. You see the economics. A session charges $30 to $60 per person. A room holds 6 to 10 people. One session generates $180 to $600 in revenue. A room can run 8 to 10 sessions per day. That's $1,440 to $6,000 in daily revenue per room. A facility with 4 rooms generates $5,760 to $24,000 per day. Over a year, that's $2 million to $8.7 million in potential revenue from a single location. The business model seems almost too obvious. People pay to rent a space for an hour. You provide props and puzzles. Low inventory. Low labor. High margin. It sounds like owning a printing press that prints money on an hourly schedule. It sounds like owning an escape room in 2015 when the concept was novel, when escape rooms were booming, when every location had months-long wait lists, and when anyone with capital and creativity could open a profitable location and expand aggressively. That is exactly the comparison people are making right now. The escape room industry generates over $1.6 billion globally. There are over 50,000 escape rooms operating worldwide. The market is in over 100 countries. Escape rooms have become mainstream entertainment. Corporate team-building events book rooms regularly. Birthday parties, friend groups, family outings, all booking escape rooms. The market seems infinite. But here's what is actually happening on the ground, inside escape room operations when the cameras are off and the actual financial statements are open. The reality of owning an escape room is completely different from what the session revenue suggests. Some escape room owners are genuinely making money. Many are barely surviving. And a significant number are quietly shutting down. The industry that seemed like it would grow forever has secretly plateaued and is now contracting. The gap between the few that thrive and the many that fail comes down to a handful of things that almost nobody explains before you invest $200,000 to $800,000 in build-out and inventory. By the end of this, you will know exactly where the money comes from, where it disappears to, what the hidden costs really are, and what separates the escape rooms that survive from the ones that became entertainment tombstones occupying expensive retail space. What an escape room actually sells. The experience trap. People assume that owning an escape room means you're selling puzzle-solving experiences. You are. But that's not where the profit comes from. If you're selling 60-minute experiences at commodity pricing, the margins are much thinner than the session revenue suggests. What an escape room actually sells is novelty, social validation, and the memory of time spent with friends. The customer is paying for the story they'll tell afterward, the photos they'll take, the proof that they accomplished something fun together. But here's the brutal truth. Novelty is consumable. You use it once and it's gone. The customer experiences your room once. They're unlikely to return frequently. They might return once a year. Most of your revenue comes from new customers, not repeat customers. New customers require marketing. Marketing costs money. When you're dependent on marketing for customer acquisition, margins compress. But here's where the economics turn against operators. Every city with population over 100,000 now has at least 5 escape room locations. Most have 10 to 20. In dense urban markets, there are 30 to 50. This creates brutal competition. Customers shop on price and reviews. Rooms must drop prices to fill capacity. Premium pricing disappears. A room that charged $50 per person in 2015 now charges $30 to $35 per person in 2026. Revenue per session has collapsed 30% to 40%. Profitability has collapsed with it. Additionally, the market has matured past the novelty phase. Escape rooms are no longer special. They're just entertainment. The target market, people who haven't experienced an escape room, is shrinking. You're now competing for repeat customers and casual entertainment spending. Both are price sensitive. When the industry was growing, you could run at 70% to 80% capacity utilization and generate strong returns. Now, 50% to 60% utilization is normal. Below 50% and you're losing money. The full upfront investment, What actually costs money? Everyone talks about the session revenue. Nobody talks about everything else that eats capital before you open the doors. Real estate and build out. $100,000 to $400,000. An escape room needs a unique space. Ground floor for visibility and easy access. Usually 1,500 to 3,000 square feet for a 2 to 4 room facility. Commercial rent in visible locations is $2,000 to $6,000 per month. First month, last month, and security deposit consumes $6,000 to $18,000. Build out to create themed rooms requires significant construction. Walls, doors, electrical work, plumbing for water features, soundproofing. Professional build out costs $80,000 to $300,000 depending on theme complexity and number of rooms. Puzzle design and technology, $30,000 to $150,000. You need locks, electronic mechanisms, sensors, displays, audio systems. Smart locks cost $500 to $1,500 each. Audio-video systems cost $5,000 to $20,000 per room. Tablet-based hint systems cost $3,000 to $10,000. Professional puzzle design adds cost if you're not designing internally. Initial props and decoration, $20,000 to $100,000. Theme props, furniture, decorations. Quality matters because immersion drives customer satisfaction. Cheap props undermine the experience. Budget, $20,000 to $100,000 depending on theme sophistication. Insurance and permits, $10,000 to $30,000. Business license. Liability insurance. Occupancy permits. Fire code compliance. Insurance for a high-traffic entertainment venue is expensive. Point of sale and booking system, $5,000 to $20,000. Reservation software. Payment processing. Customer communication. QR code check-in systems. Online booking platform is essential in 2026. Marketing and grand opening, $10,000 to $50,000. Launch advertising. Social media presence. Grand opening events. Building initial awareness requires spending. Furniture and fixtures, $10,000 to $40,000. Waiting area furniture. Reception desk. Bathroom fixtures. Professional appearance matters. Staff training and initial operations, $15,000 to $40,000. Game masters need training. Salary during ramp-up period. Initial overhead before revenue is sufficient. The real total investment. For a legitimate escape room facility with 2 to 4 rooms, the total upfront investment is $200,000 to $800,000. Most operators finance a portion through SBA loans or personal capital. A $500,000 investment at 7% interest over 7 years is $7,400 per month in debt service, or $88,800 per year. Where the money actually goes, the operating cost reality. Once you're open, the costs are relentless. And this is where the escape room business reveals why margins disappear. Rent, 15% to 30% of revenue, typically 22%. A 2,000 square foot space at $3,500 per month. If your facility generates $40,000 per month in revenue, rent is $3,500, or 8.75%. If it generates $20,000, rent is 17.5%. If it generates $15,000, rent is 23.3%. Rent is your largest fixed cost, and it doesn't decrease if revenue drops. In high-rent markets, rent is 25% to 35% of revenue. Labor, 20% to 35% of revenue, realistically 25% to 40%. You need game masters. Typically 1 per active room during operating hours. Most facilities operate 2 to 3 shifts per day. A game master earning $30,000 to $50,000 per year. For 4 rooms operating 8 hours per day, you need 4 game masters minimum plus a manager. That's 5 employees at $40,000 average equals $200,000 annually. Additional payroll taxes and benefits push it to $240,000. On $40,000 monthly revenue, that's 50% of revenue. This is brutal. Puzzle and room maintenance, 8% to 15% of revenue. Locks break. Props wear out. Electronics fail. Clues need to be reset between sessions. Rooms need deep cleaning. Budget for ongoing maintenance and replacement, 8% to 15% of revenue. Utilities, $1,500 to $3,000 per month. Electricity for lighting, temperature control, and electronic systems. Water for bathroom use. Internet for booking system and connectivity. Climate control is critical for customer comfort. Marketing and advertising, 8% to 15% of revenue. You can't rely on walk-in traffic. You need active marketing. Google Ads. Social media. Local partnerships. Groupon and discount sites. Marketing is essential and expensive. Budget, 8% to 15% of revenue. Credit card processing, 2.5% to 4% of revenue. Most bookings are card-based. Processing fees add up. On $40,000 monthly revenue, that's $1,000 to $1,600. Insurance, $800 to $2,000 per month. General liability. Premises liability. This is a high-risk entertainment venue. Insurance is expensive. Professional services, $300 to $800 per month. Accounting. Tax preparation. Legal matters. The monthly revenue and cost reality for a typical escape room, a facility with 4 rooms, averaging 4 sessions per room per day, 20 days per month, weekends busier, weekdays slower. Monthly sessions, 4 rooms times 4 sessions times 20 days equals 320 sessions. Average group size, 6 people. Average rate, $35 per person. Monthly revenue, 320 sessions times 6 people times $35 equals $67,200. Now the costs: rent, $3,500/month, $3,500, labor, 30%, $20,160, puzzle and maintenance, 10%, $6,720, utilities, $2,000, marketing, 10%, $6,720, credit card processing, 3%, $2,016, insurance, $1,500, professional services, $600, miscellaneous/contingency, 3%, $2,016, total operating costs, $45,232, net operating profit, $21,968, annual operating profit, $263,616, less debt service, $7,400 per month, $88,800, annual net profit, $174,816. This escape room generating $806,400 in annual revenue nets $174,816 in annual profit. That's 21.6% net margins. This looks good. But this scenario assumes 80 sessions per month per room, which is 4 sessions per day, every day. This is optimistic. What escape room owners don't account for: the utilization reality, seasonal volatility. December is peak season, holiday parties, end-of-year team building. January is slowest, post-holiday budget freeze. Summer sees moderate traffic. You might do 90-plus sessions in December but only 40 sessions in January. Your fixed costs don't decrease in January. You're losing money monthly during slow periods. Day-of-week fluctuation. Weekends are packed. Weekday afternoons are empty. You might run 8 sessions on Saturday and 2 sessions on Tuesday. Most capacity is during prime evening hours. Afternoon sessions are empty. You can't fill that capacity. Your effective utilization is much lower than the math suggests. Competitive saturation. A new escape room opens nearby. Prices drop from $35 to $25 to compete. Revenue per session drops 30%. Your monthly revenue falls from $67,200 to $47,040. Suddenly you're not profitable. You need to cut costs or improve marketing to recapture volume. Review dependency. A group has a bad experience. They leave a negative review. Other customers read the review and book elsewhere. Your reputation affects demand immediately. One bad review can reduce bookings 10% to 20%. Repeat customer reality. Most bookings are one-time customers. Corporate team building books once per year. Friends book once or twice and then try competitors. Birthday parties are one-time annual events. You're constantly acquiring new customers. Repeat customers are 10% to 20% of bookings at most. This makes marketing essential and expensive. The escape room that actually works financially. You open an escape room in a high-traffic tourist destination. Las Vegas, Orlando, New York City, Barcelona. Tourism drives consistent demand. Tourists have higher budgets and book at peak prices. Your facility runs at 85% to 90% capacity consistently. Seasonal volatility still exists, but average utilization is higher. You generate $80,000 to $100,000 monthly revenue. Operating costs remain $45,000. Your monthly profit is $35,000 to $55,000. Annual profit, $420,000 to $660,000. Now the business works exceptionally well. Alternatively, you own multiple locations with shared management overhead. One manager oversees 8 rooms across 2 facilities. Economies of scale reduce per location labor costs. You consolidate marketing across locations. Per location profit improves significantly. The bad scenario, the more common outcome: you open an escape room in a secondary market with moderate population. You invest $500,000. Utilization in year 1 is strong at 70%. You generate $800,000 in annual revenue and $100,000 in profit. You're thrilled. But year 2, a new competitor opens nearby. Year 3, 2 more competitors open. By year 4, there are 6 escape rooms in your market. Prices drop from $35 to $22. Utilization drops from 70% to 40%. Your monthly revenue drops from $67,200 to $38,400. Operating costs remain $45,000. You're now losing $6,600 per month. Annual loss, $79,200. You can't sustain this. You're forced to pivot, sell, or close. Most close. The hidden costs nobody discusses. The content refresh treadmill. Customers who escape your room talk about it. Other customers hear about it. The novelty fades. You must refresh content. New puzzles. New themes. New props. Refresh every 18 to 24 months costs $30,000 to $80,000 per room. For a 4-room facility, that's $120,000 to $320,000 per refresh cycle. You can't afford this if you're barely profitable. Most rooms don't refresh. They become stale. Customers stop returning. Reputation decays. The industry collapse. Nobody talks about the escape room industry that seemed like it would grow forever has peaked. Growth was 20% to 30% annually from 2012 to 2018. Growth was 10% to 15% from 2018 to 2022. Growth is now 0% to 5% from 2022 to 2026. The market is saturated. Supply exceeds demand in most markets. Operators are quietly closing. Market reports estimate 15% to 25% of escape rooms shut down annually in mature markets. For every new room opening, 1.5 to 2 are closing. Why the collapse? Market saturation. Every city now has 10 to 50 competitors. Competition reduction. Pricing has dropped 30% to 40% from peak customer fatigue. The novelty has worn off. Post-pandemic shift. Entertainment spending shifted after lockdowns. Streaming alternatives. Immersive entertainment is available at home at lower cost. Staff burnout. Game masters leave for better opportunities. Turnover is high. Conclusion. The actual economics of escape room ownership. Owning an escape room is a capital-intensive entertainment business with declining industry fundamentals. Most escape rooms are unprofitable in mature markets. Only locations with structural advantages, tourism, unique positioning, or multiple units with shared overhead generate acceptable returns. The money in escape rooms went primarily to early operators in 2012 to 2018 who benefited from novelty. The industry is now mature and contracting. Marginal locations are closing. Operators are scaling back. The venture-backed escape room companies that tried to rapidly franchise the concept have mostly failed or consolidated. The separation between escape rooms that survive and those that fail comes down to 3 factors. Location selection in high-traffic, tourist-dependent areas. Unique theming or IP that commands premium pricing and customer loyalty. Multi-unit operations that spread overhead and achieve economies of scale. A single escape room in a secondary market with 6 to 10 competitors is likely unprofitable. A single escape room in a high-traffic tourist market can generate 20% plus returns. Multiple rooms across several locations with shared management can achieve 15% plus returns despite lower individual unit margins. Here's the brutal reality that operators won't discuss publicly. The escape room industry is contracting. Over 20% of escape rooms that existed in 2019 have closed. Average profitability has declined 50% since 2015. The days of opening a single room and achieving passive income have ended. The industry has moved from growth phase to mature/decline phase. Operators are now focused on survival and consolidation, not expansion. If you're considering opening an escape room in 2026, understand that you're not entering a growth industry. You're entering a mature, saturated industry with declining fundamentals. Success requires structural advantages that most locations don't have. Without tourism, unique IP, or multi-unit consolidation, your escape room is likely to be unprofitable within 3 to 5 years as competition intensifies and novelty fades. The escape room is dead. The industry just doesn't know it yet.